What's up, everyone? Welcome to another one of CCA's interview, which is part of our Outreach series. My name is Aaliyah. I am currently a CCA intern and attend St. Peter's at University in Jersey City, New Jersey. This will be my third year as a bio major at St. Peter's. My goal is to become a craniofacial surgeon, so keep an eye out for me in the future if you need anything done. I too have a facial difference that came with a long road of surgeries, therapies, and a lot of rehabilitation, but it never stopped me from achieving any of my goals. So I am joined today by Iva Ballou, all the way from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey everyone.
Iva Ballou is a cleft confidence coach and a transformational speaker. She uses her gift of speaking and coaching as a tool to boost confidence in those with facial differences or traumas. She is the founder of Real Sophisticated Joy, a company that empowers individuals to pivot from contempt to confidence in their cleft journey to live a life filled with real sophisticated joy. When she is not coaching or speaking, you can find her with family and friends, traveling or trying out new restaurants. She is always seeking out a new adventure and joy. So today we are going to learn more about Iva's journey on being an entrepreneur as well as her cranial facial difference. Welcome, Iva. It is a pleasure to have you.
Hi everyone. Hi. Thank you so much for having me, Aaliyah. And again, thank you to the CCA for always the continued support and having me. I always appreciate it. And I have fun here. So that's why I like anytime I'm like, yes, whatever it is, yes.
But how are you today? Like, how's everything going?
Today is a good day. It is hot here. It's Florida, summertime. So it is hot, but it has been a good day so far. I'm a morning person. And so I believe in getting up early because you can get so much done, as I have already done today. And like even on my steps, already at what, 7,000 steps already?
Period. Period.
Like, so I enjoy that. It's only 12 o'clock and I've already done most of my to-do list.
Exactly. See, I need to get like you. See, I'm more like a nighttime person because like I'm more like in college. I do everything at night because I'm an athlete. So like I have to do homework at night, you know. But, like,
So I have to admit, in college, I was the exact same way though. And like I could pull a night owl like nobody's business.
exactly.
I'm no longer like that. 30 plus, no. But I'm a firm believer in knowing how many hours you need to function as a you. When I was your age and in college, three. Three was, as long as I had 3 hours, I was cool. Now it is 6. I just need 6 hours. And as long as I get 6 hours, I can fully function. Yeah, like you just got to know your sleep numbers. So that way it kind of gauges if I have something to do I push past my normal time? Or is, oh, okay, this can be pushed over to tomorrow.
Right. Right. To make a sort of routine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question for you is, tell me about yourself. Like, I want to know you.
So, no, but so truthfully, for those who don't know, I was born with a bilateral cleft lip and palate, meaning like these little slots, you can kind of still see them a little. They were open as well as the roof of my mouth. That I did not have any of that. And so that's like the medical side of who I was. But I've always, as my mother would tell you, I was always this wild child, yeah. And it was kind of funny because the clef was not always like the
Yeah.
same as like how I felt, like, because I was just me. I was always going to be me. I was always going to be loud. And that has always just been who I am. I am someone who, as my bio says, I'm always seeking adventure. I love to have fun. I like for other people to have fun. Um, I'm all about just, how are you feeling? Like one of the questions that I always ask is like, and I want people to really think about this, is when is the last time that you felt joy,
Right.
real joy? And as you get older, especially outside of college and you get into your everyday life, you forget that that is a very key component.
It is.
And so that is who I am. I am a seeker of joy. I am a giver of joy. And I like being able to do that for people.
Yeah. I love that because a lot of people struggle with that, finding their joy and happiness, and just like,
Absolutely.
yeah. Totally,
Absolutely.
totally agree. So how long has Real Sophisticated Joy been in business?
So Real Sophisticated Joy has been in business now. Wow. 3 years now. Three. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what happened was, it's really funny. So my previous life, I worked in corporate America.
Yes.
Right. I too fell into the medical track because of all that I went through as a child. I always wanted to be an advocate and kind of pay that back. And so one of my mother's biggest struggle with my cleft was insurance. Them not wanting to pay for it, them saying that, oh, her surgeries were medically, weren't medically necessary. They were cosmetic. And we all know that's not true.
Right.
So I actually became like an insurance specialist, got really good at that. But I'll never forget one day things happen. You get mad on the job.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to go do this full time. And what I meant by this full time was, prior to that, I had done my own shift of going from contempt into myself and to my cleft, and just still feeling that shame and everything. And I had transformed into being confident. And people were asking me, like, oh, how did you do it? What did you do? And so I was helping people, just a little bit, like, okay, these are things that you can do. I am someone who's a planners, and I like things to be in order. So I had already gone and gotten like certification, because I was like, well, clearly this is an interest that's not going away. So on that day, I think it had already been building up, and I was just finally faced with a decision. So I'll never forget, I came out of the office on my lunch break, and I called my mom and I said, hey, how would you feel if I quit my job and I moved back home to start this business?
Right.
And I'm thinking that she's going to be like, no, what are you doing? Because, I'm a fully functioning adult. I have my own place. I'm taking care of all my bills. Like, it's a lot. It's a big shift. And her response was, and I love her for this, forever for this, it was, I've been waiting on you. I've been waiting on you. And hearing her say that took away any bout of doubt that I had, because I was scared. I was scared to do that. And that's a big, again, for 10 years, I had my own place. There's a lot of freedom that goes with that.
Yeah.
I was traveling, living your life. I was living my best life in DC, and it was great.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was going to give that up, I was scared.
Of course. Yeah.
I was scared. But hearing her say, I've been waiting on you, let me know it's going to be okay. I knew it, but hearing that just really,
It was like a
uh,
reassurance.
yeah, it was a reassurance that I didn't know that I needed. So after that, it was full steam. Not even a thing, I came back from work, and sorry to my old job. I came back from work, and I think I went ahead and like got my LLC. Like, I printed off all the paperwork. Like, it was on from there.
Right.
It was on from there.
Oh,
And we've been in it ever since. And yeah, I quit. I had made a deal with myself. I was like, if you could just make it to October, because my sister's baby shower was then. And I was like, okay, you got to have funds for that.
yeah.
But if you could just make it to October, after that, you're gonna quit. You're gonna commit full time. And October 9th, 2019, I quit.
That's that's really inspiring because like I could somewhat relate to your story
Mhm.
because when I was younger, I was like never really like I would say I wouldn't say like confident, but like really like never really like took my like syndrome and put it to use.
Yeah. Yes.
So now like literally right now what I'm doing right now, like this outreach series right now, like
Yeah.
I'm really like finding like my purpose in life. Like what I'm doing right now, this is what I want to do, like be an advocate for kids and everything
Uh-huh.
like that. And like what you said, somewhat telling your mother, I literally had that same thing, like when I told my mother like what I wanted to do, and this was like I would say like a month ago, like when I started doing this opportunity, working with CPA kids and working with
Yeah.
other organizations. She was like, Aaliyah, I've been waiting for you to tell your story. Like
Yeah.
this is your moment to shine.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting,
It
and
is. Yeah.
that hit me hard. Like I was like, wow.
I'm giving you like an air hug because I see it. And again, we don't think that what we're doing is a big deal because we've always done it, right?
Mhm.
We've always done it. You've always been you, Aaliyah. Like I checked out the Instagram. I was like, okay, okay. So you are being you,
Thank
but
you.
you have to understand that you being you is special
Yes.
and that a lot of people cannot always be them.
Wow.
So being able to show them that they can be them, that's a power.
It is.
That's a power.
Yeah, very powerful. Not everyone could be who they are.
Not everybody can be who they are and
Mm-mm.
do it comfortably.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a big thing. So I'm happy for both of us,
Yeah,
doing us.
yeah,
Living
we're doing the thing.
exactly, I love that. My next question for you is how did you come up with your name? I love how so unique and like different it is. It's not like
So again, I am a planner,
yeah.
and going into 30, I was really like, I was really obsessed about going into 30 correctly. I don't know what that meant, but I knew I wanted to go into 30 correctly. And so I went to therapy again. I do not reject therapy at all. I think it's a good thing, especially if you know why you're going. And so for me, part of it was I knew that there were parts of myself, mainly my cleft and my father's death, that I had not properly dealt with. I had not properly dealt with, and they were coming out of me in ways that I didn't like. I often talk about the fact that for a little while, yes, I was bullied as a kid, but then I turned into a bully, whether it mean being an outward bullying of bullying other people, and never physically, but like definitely with my words. But that was mainly because I was bullying myself internally. I call my inner bully Big Bertha, and Big Bertha was loud and she was not kind. She was not kind. And I was like, okay, enough is enough. I have got to get control over her. So, an exercise that I had to do was moving forward, if you could choose 3 words that you wanted people to associate with you,
Hmm.
just 3 words. They cannot use any other words. And mind you, I'm a lover of words. There are a lot of words in the word. Okay. Some that are known, that are in the dictionary, and there are some that vernacularly you just make up, but everybody knows what they mean. So you could only choose 3 words. And I wrote down real, sophisticated, and joy. It was like when I saw it, it had a life of its own. It
Yeah.
had a life of its own. I just happened to finally put it down on paper. And people always ask, like, what does that mean? And obviously, because it's not a word, real sophisticated joy is not a word on its own that people know of. But we all know what real is. That means that it's tangible. I can touch it, you can see it, you can feel it. It's real. Sophistication, now, yes, how I mean it is obviously in style and grace, but honestly, it can be a system. A software system is sophisticated if it is simplistic in its approach, but it is efficient,
Yeah.
right? Because they often say, like, the most sophisticated thing is simple.
Yeah.
Exactly. So real, just simple, at
Hmm.
its smallest point, joy.
Hmm.
So what that means is people always, oh, I'm happy, I'm happy. I don't want you to be happy because you have to have other emotions.
Right.
I was definitely one of those people prior to finding my real sophisticated joy. I only wanted to be this one way because I felt like I couldn't be any other thing. And it's like, but you're not allowing yourself to feel other things.
Right.
So I don't want you to always be happy, but what I do want is for you to always be joyful. When you are always joyful, that means that a common example that I give to my clients is You may start off the day and life happens to you. Life happens to you. You can have no control over that. But what you can control is, oh, I can do this thing right here, and that makes me feel this way.
Right.
This happens. And so I give an example all the time is when I lived in DC, one of the things that I did, and I still do to this day, sounds crazy, try it if you like it, but it works. I had a bowl of confetti. I had a bowl of confetti that as soon as you would walk into my apartment, it was right there. When I would leave out for the day, I would throw up confetti and say, it's going to be an amazing day. Sounds crazy, but it would start my day. Right. And then when I would come back in, I would throw up confetti. And some days the confetti was me saying, girl, you made it through the day. Celebrate it. I just made it through the day. Woo! High five to me. I just made it through the day. But then there's other days where all of these amazing things happen and you don't celebrate them. You don't think about it. And it's like, no, I'm going to celebrate this moment, that moment. That moment brought joy to me. Yeah. So by doing that continuously on every day, I'm not waiting to, I'm not saving up moments of joy. I'm not saving up moments to be happy. It is every day I'm actively seeking and creating moments of joy for myself.
Yes.
So that is what real sophisticated joy is. That is how I came up with it. And now it's like, to me, it is a word. It belongs in the dictionary. It is a thing. You can tell, you can see it, you can feel it. Yeah. It is. Real sophisticated joy is a word and a feeling. And I think the more that I put it out there, I think people are understanding, that is the thing.
It is. I really love it. I love how unique it is, and it's so you. It's just for you. I love it. And, what you said, everyone, you want to have a little thing, a little routine, how you have the confetti when you come home. See, I similar have a little thing when I get home, tired, I accomplished everything I have on my to-do list. I little put some my little jams on, some
yes.
Just start dancing.
Exactly. But Leah, that's your real sophisticated joy. And that's something that I'm telling people. My real sophisticated joy, that's how I celebrate it with the confetti. Right. Yours is your music. Yeah. Everybody has something that makes them light up. Right. And I'm just hoping you find that thing or find those things.
Yeah.
And put them out. And so that way you can put them into practice when needed. So that's why I'm always telling the clients, it's your real sophisticated joy. It's not mine. Mine looks different. And I want it to look different. Just like a Leo book is going to look different, but it's hers.
Right.
And it's so much power in knowing this is my real sophisticated joy, because when you have your real sophisticated joy, as we said earlier, you can show up as you.
Exactly. And it feels so good,
You can show up as you. It feels good. And you can feel confident in you, no matter what I look like, no matter what is going on. I have this joy. I'm cool. It doesn't matter what's going on.
Right. Totally agree with you. Cool. My next question is, what's your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
My favorite aspect about being an entrepreneur is the freedom. Part of me, although I am very much a planner, I'm a logistics person. I like fact, logic, and reason. All of those get me really excited, and I do like routine. I am a creative person in my heart. I am a creative person in my heart. And a lot of times, especially working in corporate America, we have standards of practice, SOPs, right? And you have to go down these lists. And that is great majority of the time. But there are some times where the answer is outside of that box.
Yeah.
I like being able to go outside of that box and find that answer. And being an entrepreneur for my own business allows me that. It allows me, because again, you have some clients that come to me, they're straight. I already know week. But then every now and then I get my favorite. I call those my puzzle clients, and I love puzzles. So it forces me to have to toggle through and kind of shift it together and see, okay, I can put this part and I can put this part that works together. And so that for me, having that creative freedom,
Mhm.
I love it. I love it.
I totally can relate to you because both of my parents are both entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
Like, they both are funeral directors.
Okay.
Right. So they run their own business and everything. So it's amazing to look up to them. And
Mhm.
it's like they have the same character traits. Like they're so creative. So like
Yes.
we're like, we have our conversations about like, expanding the business and
Yeah.
like do we grow the business? They'd be like coming up to me like, oh, like Aaliyah, like we should get on social media. We do like
Yes.
I don't know, ads, theme songs, and all this stuff. And like hearing their creative ideas is just so amazing. And it what inspires me to be my own boss. So I love to hear it.
I like that. And you don't realize how important it is, because I think being an entrepreneur, it's not for everybody. It is not. It is not. But for those that it is for, you find that oftentimes, like, yes, we were great in school, but there was a part that was always missing.
Hmm.
And is that creative aspect, because being able to, there's nothing better than having a vision in your head, or having a kind of like a flow of how you think it's going to go for a client, and then putting it in, implementing it, because that still takes time management, that still takes a lot of corporate America skill sets, and seeing it go off well, it's like, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Right.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Um, my other question is, what are the most important habits that like help you to be like successful, like help you put you where you are today?
So, and I know people don't like this word, and I initially did not like this word either. Discipline and routine.
Okay, yeah.
Discipline and routine. But that's the beauty. You can define what discipline and routine is for you.
Yeah.
Because part of my routine, I have scheduled in naps, because I know
Right.
I need a nap.
Exactly.
Because it is what it is. But I have scheduled that in.
Right.
So that's part of my routine. But that nap time, say, sound like a little kid, serves a great purpose. So that way it allows my brain time to rest. It also allows, I find that sometimes I'm actually more creative
Yes.
to do. But setting up that discipline and that routine, another part of a discipline that I do is I'm doing the hardest thing of my day, I'm doing that first.
Yes.
I'm doing that first, because I got to get it out the way. Because
Uh-huh.
it's like, if you get that out the way, the rest of the day is smooth. So the
Right.
hardest thing, I want that done first. I was even like that in corporate America. And I do say for people who are considering entrepreneurship, maybe, and you've never had any other job, it is cool to go be in corporate America for like a year, 6 months to a year, because you can learn a lot of skills and a lot about routine and discipline from them, and then take it to your business. Because that's what I did.
Right. 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 I
So
never
if
thought.
you want to keep that same I have friends who used to work a 9 to 5, and she still operates in that 9 to 5 structure, but she's working for herself.
Okay. Okay. You see, I never thought of like what you said, like do like the hard stuff
Mhm.
and do it first. See, I always leave it for last minute.
But that's why, okay, let's, I know this is off topic of the interview, but it's thinking about that. If
Yeah.
you leave the thing that you want to do the least
Yeah.
for the last part of your day, you have more excuses and reasons why not to do it. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. It's going to take so long. You can go down a whole list of
Mhm.
why not to do it. But that's the thing that you need to do the most.
Mhm.
Do that first. When
Mhm.
you do that first, one, you get that stress off of you, off rip. I get that off of me quick. Two, I get to feel accomplished, because it's almost like, and I have done this, that was a very hard thing.
Yeah.
I got it off my list. I don't have to do nothing the rest of the day.
I know that good feeling. Like, oh, thank you.
if if my schedule permits and it's like, okay, I have gotten that off and I have nothing else present. I don't have any clients, I don't have any sessions, I don't have interviews, I don't have anything, like no podcast recordings, nothing. I don't have to do anything. But if I would have waited for the end of the day, it's again, like you just like, okay, you're dreading the whole day because like, I got this at 4:00. I got this at 4:00.
Right.
Get it out the way.
Yeah.
Just get it out the way.
Yeah, I think see my biggest thing, my toxic trait about me, like I'm trying to work on it.
Mhm.
Like so bad because it's college, you know. But I'm such a procrastinator. I hate that.
So
Uh,
if you haven't figured out, I am a believer in affirmations and I believe that you can write your life. I challenge you to start saying that you don't procrastinate.
mhm.
Like just a simple practice. And I know it sounds like that's really simple, but the more that you tell yourself, oh, I'm procrastinating, I'm procrastinating, I'm procrastinating, you're going to procrastinate because that's what you're telling. I've told myself what I do.
Right, I am
But
right. You know.
right. But if you say, oh, I get things done efficiently, I get things done on time, I get things done early, like I'm a person who does this, you're going to slowly start to act in that way because your brain has now been told what to do and your body follows suit. And because Aaliyah, I was the same way. I was the same. I really wish that it was possible to like actually physically speak to your younger self because I know college Iva is like, who are you? Who are you? And I'm sitting here looking at her like, girl, I know it was a long road, but let me tell you how we got here. Let me tell you how we got here. You'll get here eventually. But if I could tell you these things, you would get there quicker.
Right, right,
And one of those things would be me changing the story that I was telling myself about myself.
right. And it's crazy how you say that, like affirmations, because I in my room I do have like an affirmation wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have like I'm a sucker for a good quote. I love quotes. So like when I start reading them, like
Mm-hmm.
it like pumps me up for the day. Like it motivates me because I want
Right.
like big things in life. Like I like want this, I want this. I'm like
There's nothing wrong with it. I am the same way. But the thing is, so with those quotes, you got to take them further and fully apply them to yourself.
mhm,
And that's why for you, it would be great to change like having affirmation that are more suited for you
mhm,
and having that one be like, I get things done early. I get things like, because the more that you start to say it, you'll find yourself noticing, like, I did that thing early.
right,
Oh, and how you feel will also help reiterate, like, okay, I need to continue to do things early.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to do that. Yeah, yeah. I got a little yeah. Okay. My next question for you is what do you think are the downfalls of having a business, your own business?
The downfalls, there are a couple. One, the idea of the notion that you are only going to work 40 hours a week, that is not true. That is not true. You get to space out your hours, you get to space out your time, but if you care about the business and depending on what the business is, you'll be putting in a lot of work, a
Mhm.
lot of work. And so it's not a hard thing, but it's just something that I don't think is always talked about or that people truly understand that it is no 9 to 5 with a regular job. You can come in, do your job, and when you clock out at 5, that's it. That's not how it is.
Mhm.
Especially in my job, I'm dealing with people, I'm dealing with their emotions, I'm dealing with their insecurities, I'm dealing with their traumas, and those things can be triggered at any time,
Mhm.
anytime. But yes, that's a big thing of like not having structure, not having structure. And then a third thing that I would say is, especially in the, I would say 1 to 5 year
Yeah.
You don't have as much time to yourself, so you don't have a lot of time for friends and family. And being okay with delayed gratification of, I gotta miss this party,
Hmm.
I gotta miss this trip,
Right.
I don't get to go to this, I don't get to go to that, because you're trying to advance your business. You're doing something for your business, whether it's an event, a session, something is coming up for your business that you need to take precedence over what you would normally do. That is a really big thing that it was hard to learn at first.
Yeah. Yeah. I could, yeah, I totally relate because when it comes, like, I help my parents out with, like, with the funeral business,
Mhm.
everything, and like it's not 9 to 5. It's we're there every day, all day and night, and we so many, like, since it's the summertime, everyone's having a cookout, barbecue, everything, all that stuff. We had so many invites and everything, and it's like, we had to, like, prioritize what we got to do first, trying to build us, build a better, better
Yeah.
us,
If you have something going on for your business, that has to take your forefront and your focus.
right. And me with college, like, everyone wants to go, like, oh, party, and, have all this stuff. Like, I know this semester for me is gonna be like, I want to say hard, but, like, it's gonna be like, tough, but like that means I have to, get myself. I know I'm gonna have to discipline myself a lot. So, like, I know, I'm gonna be more studying, all this stuff. So yeah,
But it's good that you know going in, like you know what time it is.
yeah.
And the beauty of it is, comparative to working like maybe a corporate job where you don't know that there is an end, typically with entrepreneurship and in your business, you can kind of forecast for how long this is going to be. Like if I'm launching something, I know, okay, during this time, for this semester, I'm going to have to be, but it's just for a time. Being able to understand that it's not the rest of your life, it is just for a moment in time that you are being extremely focused.
Right. Like, this is one of my quote, like, I, like, tell myself all the time, like, this is not your final form, just keep going,
Yes,
like, yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. My question is, I noticed you've been associated with CCA for, like, a quite some time. How long have you been associated with this?
I think if Rose Christina Joy has been for 3, I would have to say 2, because during the pandemic, um, I am an introvert. People don't believe that, but I am. And so even the introvert in me was like, okay, I gotta get out of. And so I started connecting with other organizations that were supportive of cleft and craniofacial. Obviously, the CCA was one of them. And I was just like, oh, yep, feels like home. Let me introduce myself.
Exactly. Like, I love the community that they're building. It's like,
Absolutely.
of networking with all of us. It's amazing.
Absolutely. I love the places that like it truly is inclusive. It truly is like we have shared experiences,
Hmm.
and being able to rest in that is very comforting.
It really is.
It's very comforting.
Cause I didn't get to experience that when I was younger. Cause
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't I don't think when I was younger, my parents never really, like, saw me as different. So, like,
Yes.
they treated me the same, like I'm normal. Da, da, da. So I thought myself was normal too. So, funny story. I actually went to one conference, or like, was it a dinner? I think it was a dinner at David Buster's. It was incorporated with my hospital, CHOP in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So there were multiple kids with different syndromes. Oh my gosh. When I tell you, I walked in there so confident, I'm like looking around, like, who are these people? Like, why am I here? Like, what's going on? Like, I never experienced, like, seeing other people that had, like, different syndromes. So I'm like, Mom, like, what are we doing?
I
And
don't
my
belong here. I don't belong here. Oh, Leah, we friends. We are definitely friends because I can relate. My parents raised me the same exact way. And that is obviously like I talk about it often, so it's not new. The fact that cleft is not really prevalent in African American, let alone African American women. So And so if I'm a little kid, I'm still feel very much confident in my kid self. Like you knew who Miss Iva was. Everybody knew who Miss Iva was. So when I would be faced with other kids who had that, it was like, no, 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 that's not me. No, what are you talking about? And that is what, like, as I mentioned previously about having to come to terms with it, because it was like, I was really trying to outrun my cleft. I was going to have as many surgeries as I could. I didn't want to be associated because it, my parents did a great job of letting me know, like, you have a cleft, but the cleft does not have you. We don't treat you differently. They would always give that disclaimer to anyone that was new meeting me, like, do not give her special treatment. Do not give her special treatment. Do not limit her. Anything that everybody else is doing, she can do too. And so that was my experience. That was my
same. No, literally, because I remember every for school, my mom used to come up to the classroom and make a whole speech like, oh, like my daughter, like she has a different syndrome. She may not look, um, um,
like everyone else.
right, she's different, but like she's still the same girl. She loves to talk, like all this. So I'm like, yeah, but yeah, it's totally agree. Okay, my next question is, this is actually my last one.
Okay.
What is some advice you would give to someone who's trying to start their own business?
You're trying to start your own business. The very first thing I would say is congratulations. Congratulations on taking a big leap in yourself. Whether you realize it or not, you have a certain sense of trust in yourself to do that. I will start off with saying congratulations. Secondly, I will say is truly assess this business, this venture that you're going through, and making sure that you have some type of tie to it other than financial. If we're being honest, we all want to have money. We want to live comfortably. We want to live the life that we dream of, right? That's great. And I do not knock that at all. But especially in the very beginning of your business, and depending on what your business is, money is going to be slow. Money is going to be sparse. Money is going to be different. Can you keep going? Right. That's one aspect of it. And then two, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur that's helping people, if you're helping people, you're helping people. You're not just there to take their money. So being mindful of that, like just making sure and being clear of what it is. And something that I also believe in is, what is your end goal? If you know that truthfully you are trying to make this business a Fortune 500 and it's going to be traded on the, trade, start like that. Right. It's easier to start and operating in a mode that you're trying to grow into than to trying to scramble as things come, because I do believe that the more that you put effort and energy into something, the bigger that it gets, the more that it grows, and the more successful that it's going to be. And you don't want to be trying to play catch up all the time. So that, and also saving, because as you continue, as you grow, you're going to start to get those big checks. And those are great. Those are great days. And you're really excited because you're like, not only it's one thing to get a big check from a company, but it's like, I got this big check from my business, from my work. Save that, because things happen. Business expenses are real. And being prepared for that. You want to make sure. So it's just finding that balance and that groove of celebratory high. We're celebrating the win. Yes, we're doing this thing, but then also, but we still have this goal in mind. Right. We are still trying to hit this target goal. We have not hit this target goal yet. So let's maintain that level of excitement, if you would.
Right. Because it's the whole process of, building your own brand, building yourself. So
Something else that I will say is also be clear on what level you are trying to go, because there are some that are like, no, because like you might hear, I'm a business owner and an entrepreneur. They are technically two different things. If you just want this one business and you don't want to grow outside of that, that's fine. Just be clear in that.
Right. Right.
Or are you going to be a serial entrepreneur who's like, I'm going to have this first business, and then once I get this one really running, I'm going to take that money and do this. Just be clear. And if you haven't already, like I said, have a plan. Just have your plan. Even if it doesn't go that way, at least you had some set of beginning guidelines or beginning directions of where you were trying to head. Like, so that's what makes, just have some sort of plan. You can always readjust the plan, but you don't want to be 6 months in and you have no plan at all.
No. It's all about organization, discipline, like everything you said previously. That's how you know.
It really is. And I would say there are some that break this rule, but I will say, depending on how you are as a worker, will also let you know kind of how you will be as your own boss. So, because I for myself always had a good work ethic. Like I don't play. I never played about that. So obviously, I don't play with RSJ, and it shows.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree because everything I do, like I put my all in, like, you know, I finish it. I never start and never finish. I always finish what I do. You know, once you have that, you know, mindset and that mentality, I think you can do anything. You know.
Oh, so you have another set. You're an athlete. Like you have another whole set. And I admire that. That was like one of the things that I did. I did allow my cleft to hinder me from. I really wanted to do track.
But why?
I did not. That was one aspect of my cleft that I did allow it to hold me back, because during that time I was fine doing like practicing at track because I was the track team's team manager. And bless my coach, she has now passed away, but one thing that I will always like love her for is that she had this firm belief that anybody on the team, if you own the team, you work out with the team. So I worked out with the team. I did their drills. I did all of that. And she put me into shot put.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was pretty good at it. I was actually pretty good at it. And I did great in practice when it was with people that I felt comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would go out to other schools with kids that I didn't know, and I can say this now as an adult woman, I think I put too much pressure on myself and I made it bigger. Like, oh my gosh, everybody's staring at me. And I did not allow myself to perform to the level that I could have performed. So I feel like if I could have got that one block.
Yeah.
And again, I will admit that was Big Bertha. I allowed Big Bertha to rule that one, and I let her have that one because she ain't getting no more.
No, because I that did affect me when I was younger, like with sports and everything. But like I told you, my parents did not care. Before track, I was into gymnastics. I
Mm-hmm.
started that when I was 5 years old, and I've been doing it since I guess I stopped in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, doing that sport, you're out in the open,
You are.
everyone's staring at you, judging you, and everything. So I guess for me, I didn't really. I guess I forgot I had like a facial difference because I was like,
Yes.
man, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Leah, I love that. And I thank you for saying that, because that is a conversation that I do have quite often. It's like, you act like you don't have one. And it's like, I mean, I do, but I don't.
Right, you know.
Like, I do, but I don't. It's not, it's my face.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
that's it.
Mhm.
I'm still cute. Aaliyah's still cute. Like, we still cute. So we don't allow that thing that, yes, it's a big thing, but it's
Yeah.
not all of us. It's not all that we are. And
Yeah.
again, that goes back to that confidence of you,
Mhm.
not your disability, not your cleft, not what your syndrome. It is you, your confidence of you.
Right.
and making sure that that is strong. If you let that be strong, everything else kind of just blends in.
Yeah. Really, yeah. But I would say like it did hinder when I like I guess when I got to school and everything, like going to different schools like middle school,
Yeah.
elementary school, like meeting new people. I guess it did because I'm like always like thinking of like the worst. Like I'm such an
Mm-hmm.
overthinker. I'm like thinking, like they're judging me or like they're all this like negative stuff, and I
Yep.
think that affected me being like socializing,
Mm-hmm.
being more
Yes.
outgoing. But that was in high school. I think I learned from that, like my mistakes and like, just overthinking about like, the worst outcomes, even though it did not happen
It
to me.
didn't happen.
It did.
It's the story that you tell yourself. And so like now, like you tell yourself a different story. I tell myself a totally different story. It's like everyone is happy to see me. I'm, like, and that's how I enter into the space. I'm supposed to be here. I'm having a great time. Like you tell yourself a different story.
Yeah. And I think me having this facial difference is like a benefit because like when it comes to athletics, no one
Mm-hmm.
can forget me. No one can ever forget me. Like no one. When it comes to pole vaulting, I'm like, that's her, that's Booker, that's Leah, that's like you can't
This
forget me.
is true. I do say that. Like I never forget. I actually used my cleft to get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a job that I was a little bit, I didn't have all of the qualifications. I can admit that. And they're like, well, we have all these other applicants. I even wrote it for my college application. And I was like, yes, you have all of these applicants, but none of your applicants have a cleft.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that come along with it. Like there are certain skill sets that are transferable. And I remember he looked at me like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, this, basically hitting on the ones that I did not technically have on my resume. I was like, yes, this is how I have dealt with this my whole life. You're talking about people who maybe only use this skill in their job. No, I've had to use, and he was just like I knew I walked out of there with that job with it. And so there are certain things that I think just all of us collectively, we innately have resilience.
Yeah.
we run it, you have to be resilient. You have a sense of determination because it's like I'm gonna show you. um there are things that just come along with it that I always say that if I had to go back, I actually would never choose not to have a cleft. I think that it made me a better person.
It really did. I totally agree with you. Like I would say I used to like, when I was like
Mhm.
I guess like not so confident, like still trying to figure out like, like accepting myself.
Mhm.
I would definitely agree. Like I would not, go back and
Take this back. Take this back.
right, and it really taught me the ways in life and like how
Mhm.
to, live life, and
Yeah.
which I love,
Yeah.
taught me the hardships of life, everything.
Yes.
Love
You
it.
can, it makes you be able to relate to a lot of people. I didn't realize that. Like you can relate and you can draw on and meeting different people, even as you travel, and like it makes you more relatable that you can, and empathetic.
Right. Because I would say like I'm getting more when it comes to college right now. Like I'm trying to get more like out there network, join
Hmm.
clubs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So every time I meet new people, they're like, "Oh my god, Aaliyah, your personality is so amazing." Like I don't know, I always like before I meet someone, I tell like, "Oh, like I'm like trying to like shy, like
Yeah.
trying to be out there more." I'm like, "Aaliyah, how are you shy? Your personality is amazing. What are you talking about?"
They never believe you. They never believe us. And I'm like, no, really, I am shy.
Yeah.
If you, if I had the choice, I could go anywhere and not speak and I'd be okay.
No, literally. Yeah. So like I just love how like, they are like, they love me for me, like,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah. But thank you so much, Iva, for
You're
having
welcome. And thank you for having me, Leah. This has been great.
me. Amazing. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you today. If our audience wants to learn more about you, where can they follow you?
They can go to www.real, that's REAL, sophisticated, as it is spelled, joy, realsophisticatedjoy.com, one word, or you can follow me on Instagram at realsophisticatedjoy and on TikTok. I finally did my first video.
TikToks. I've been seeing your TikTok on Instagram. I'm like, okay.
I really fought TikTok, but I fine. And so you can follow me there as well.
Yes, I love it. Again, thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing your time with us, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon. Bye, guys.